put these partner forums together as a, quarterly update and really, looking to get feedback from our channel partners and hearing what's going on in your world and also share a little bit about what's going on in ours. So yeah, Gary, let's go ahead and kick it off.
Okay, well, let's roll on. Adam, thank you. Gary Schick, nice to meet you. For those of you I haven't met before, I'm a National Channel Manager. Brian Purdue is also on the line. I don't have a really good picture of Brian, so apologies he hasn't made the lineup here. We'll get him on the next one. And joined by Adam Burke, who's our VP of Sales and Channels. Appreciate you joining today. Adam, next slide. We can run through. Just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get going. We are recording this session, so we'll be able to come back and visit for those who want to come back and revisit any content. We record all of our sessions, so we'll cover a little bit about some of the content that we have available. This is interactive. We were talking before the call here that we do have a WebEx presentation mode for webinars, but this is a little bit more interactive. So please feel free to chime in if you have questions. Got a nice little intimate group here this morning. Happy to do that. And for those of you who are on the call, will be sending out an e-gift card after the presentation. So keep an eye out for that email as well. Next slide. So just agenda today, we'll kind of just go through some real quick things on first half summary. It's always good to kind of look at some numbers, see how things are trending. We'll have Adam come up and talk about, updates to our program, hot topics, kind of cover some of our strategy, some of the tools and training that we have are pretty common topics that we get get mutually acquainted with our partners. We'd love to share with you kind of the things that we have and some things if you're looking for anything else, we'd welcome some feedback there. We have a couple of announcements and then wrap it up with a Q&A and some, a wrap up on that side. Next slide. Thank you for your questions. Some of you put in questions into the registration form. We will cover these at the end on the Q&A or if something comes up, anything in between. These are, we always welcome these. We can cover these on these calls. Always happy to take them one-on-one. If you need to contact Adam, Brian, or myself, anybody from the partner team, these are some of the calls that we've had coming in, and we'll look to hit these a little bit later in the session. Adam, you want to cover some of the numbers here? This is kind of up your neck of the wood, tracking the spreadsheets.
Yeah, so I get the honor of tracking the spreadsheets and how things are trending. So appreciate everything. This is because of our partners. This is fully driven by your team's activities and engagements with us. So we've had a partner strategy since 2009. Growing across the United States. It's been consistent growth, but I'd say in the last 3 or 4 years, I've definitely seen that hockey stick move quickly. So it's been fantastic. We're averaging about 140% year-over-year growth from 2023 to 2024 for the first half as a total organization. And our contributing master agents and TSBs and VAR partners and OEMs. One of them is just blowing it out of the park. Actually, they all are doing fantastically well, over 20% on all levels from a growth perspective kicking in there. That's based on the first half. And our market segments continue to grow. We're continuing to see a lot. I'm sure you're seeing this in your business, but some areas are growing faster than others. We still continue to see healthcare and financial services. An area that we've seen, some more growth in is retail and hospitality, and government continues to be strong for requirements across product, services, professional services, and integration support. So great growth. Continuing to see some really cool numbers. We're basically on track to almost 1.5 double our revenues this year. So thank you very much. Very exciting. Good to see opportunities firing on all cylinders across all of our different product offerings. So
excellent.
Yep. Gary, you want to kind of
and thank you, Adam. Yeah, thank you, Adam, and thank you to the partners. Really, we couldn't do it without you. It's a great team, so appreciate that. I think we're acquainted with most of you there. We'll do a quick 2-slide overview kind of on just a summary of our portfolio. We do have extensive We call them capability reviews. Adam will touch on this a little bit later as well on some programs we have there to be able to share. But this is probably just at a high level the nut of kind of where we've come from. Real simply, go-to-market strategy of how can we help. Since 1982, customers kind of direct us as kind of what they're needing. We're not a company that builds a widget and a predetermined solution and come buy our stuff. At the same time, we deliver a lot of turnkey solutions. Many of the suppliers in the TSB portfolios we can deliver directly and have been doing that for a very long time. If someone wants to kind of consolidate things, we can get to us for all the things you see listed here: product, services, cyber, physical security, all these different aspects of the business here are very extensive in the portfolio. Adam, on the next slide, if you look at our differentiators in the market, there we go. This little pie chart on the right here is really, we call it our service pillars and building blocks. You can see kind of the different areas we get involved. Where we really start to differentiate is when a customer really wants to get 2 or 3 or 4 slices of the pie here. They may need products. They may need professional services to design what it is, maybe implement it. They need to integrate it with their applications. They need to secure it, and it needs to go live in the cloud. We really start to see results through the building blocks, and we call them integrated services. Really, the big differentiator, I think, is the dark blue in between the pizza slices. It's really the professional services between those pillars that really make a big difference for us. Customers right now are really struggling with having IT staff to know everything about all the different technologies, how they work together. It gets very, very complex. And that professional services aspect of our business on the other side of the solutions for the operational support is a great big differentiator for us. So, it's really customized to suit, what the customer's looking to do from a products and solutions standpoint. And if they want CapEx, if they want an operating expenses, managed service, it can really live just about anywhere. That's really where the opportunities that we're winning on that side.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to cover on this, Gary, as well. I had a conversation with a partner I think just yesterday, and there are stories out there in the channel around certain building blocks will only be delivered by a managed service if it's part of something else. So like patch management, for example, a partner was telling me, hey, this company will do patch management, but they'll only do it if it's part of a bigger service. When you're thinking about Quest, you're thinking about engaging with Quest, don't be careful of kind of putting that barrier in your mind just because another MSP does it that way. We joke around with folks around the idea that, yeah, I know that helps certain organizations scale and do things the same way 1,000 times. We're built the opposite way. We don't, and I know this sounds weird, I don't care about that strategy. If your customer needs help with one building block and they're willing to work with us and pay us to help them with that, it doesn't have to be part of some grand scheme, larger MSP play. So just because other MSPs do it that way doesn't mean that that's the way Quest does it. So feel free to reach out. Would you, could you questions are great. Let us know what you're trying to do or what your customer's trying to do, and we can put together a solution to address it. We're not the same as other MSPs. So very, very building block focused approach. What is your client trying to do, and can we put together an option for them to accomplish that?
Great point. Thanks, Alan.
Yeah. It was a conversation that we got in with a client and the customer and the partner was kind of, it was the same strategy that another provider had done. And they're like, well, yeah, you guys can't do that unless you're doing 20 other things for them. I was like, no, we can just do patch management as a service if they need our help with that. We can even drive this is where it really throws people off. If a client has already invested in their technology, like their patch management platform or their cybersecurity endpoint platform, whatever it is, we can help operate that with them. You don't have to rip and replace it. So that's blue belt quest, right? So white belt quest is call us, let's get a conversation. Blue belt is, as you're moving up the chain of, jujitsu experience, that's rolling with the customer to address what they're needing help with, is definitely something we can do. So, Gary, did you want to go over anything else? You want me to jump into kind of hot topics and
Yeah, no,
tools and stuff?
thank you, and that's great. And I guess just a segue into your reintroduction here. I think you hit on few key points there. To call us. We have lots of content, experience, and tools and whatnot over there. Different partners are at various stages of what they're comfortable talking about. We don't have an expectation that anyone needs to be a stalking horse to know everything about everything. Matter of fact, that sometimes slows things down. We wanted to cover some of the content and tools and whatnot for those people who are interested in getting educated on things or learning different approaches and strategies to how we look at those things. We do have quite a few things in the back office, some sessions and things we wanted to kind of screen through some of those today from a strategy, tools, and training perspective. And Adam lives this. Darcy Baker, who's our VP of Marketing, is on the call also. If there are things on here that you'd like to make comments on introduction, we'd be appreciative of that. So with that, Mr. Burke, I will turn it over to you to take the ball, as they say.
Awesome. So wanted to do a quick run through of how to access and where to access material. Now, I'll be very candid. I hate portals. I can't stand portals because I always forget my username and password, and then I'll give up. So we made it extremely simple to access our content. You have to click on the button. You just click on it. So you click on the button. Remember, when we do cybersecurity training, 70% of breaches happen when people click on the button. So I know people can click. I definitely know they can click. They can click to get breached. You can click to get trained. So just joking. But if you want to look at our content or you want to see any assets that the partner program has, on our main website under the partners tab, you can come down here and register an opportunity, review the program, or look at some good success stories we have. And then you can also just click on access to the partner portal and it'll drop you right in. No username and password, no shenanigans there. Just hop on in. It's behind a few layers. We figure if you're dedicated enough to click through a few links, you can have access to all this great content on here. And did I mention I hate portals? All right, sorry. So you can hop on here. It'll tell you all of our upcoming announcements, right? We have our partner forum, kind of, those kind of things coming up, our boot camp series, our upcoming events, our insights. But what's really, really cool, we heard from the channel, we heard from our partners that they want training, they want simple updates, they want videos, little updates on what Quest is doing or what's relevant to them. So we put together a training tab. So if you go to the resources tab and you hop into the training tab right here, so go right through here, click on resources, go to training. You have all of our entire bootcamp series, which are 45 to 1 hour sessions where we do a deep dive into a specific building block of Quest. So we've completed application development conversations, technical on-call services, how to incorporate infrastructure services into your sales. Every main building block that Quest has is recorded on here in full deep dive sessions. We've done, these 6 so far. We have one more coming up around assessments in about 2 weeks that we're going to be doing, where we'll talk about we'll talk about a little bit later here, but how to increase revenue opportunities through initial assessments. So these are training, these are deep dive bootcamp series. They're fantastic. If I do say so myself, we're walking through them. We've got great feedback on them. and they're recorded and available for you in the portal. We were also told by our partners, hey, I need like 2 or 3 minute, 4 minute, 5, 10 minute tops training on how to position something or how to get a quick snapshot or overview of what you guys are doing. So we did those service overviews, very quick service overviews. So like for some of our building blocks, like our cybersecurity checkup, our cyber defense suite, staffing. A lot of people don't realize we provide staffing for organizations. So a quick run through of how you can make money with us on staffing, and then application development and help desk. So we're adding to the video library. We're adding new content all the time. So if you want to just hop in there, take a quick read on something, take a quick look, those are things that we have. Also in the portal, we have an FAQ section. Hey, how do we engage? How do we register? Can we get people on site? Will Quest participate in RFPs? No, just kidding. We can talk about it. And what's the ideal customer profile? All this kind of good stuff in here. We got FAQs. And then we also have, one other thing is we got podcasts. We do a podcast about once a week. If you want to kind of, listen to how Quest approaches the market or what we're seeing out there in the channel, we kind of just treat it as an open book discussion as far as, hey, XYZ was acquired by, ABC. What does that mean to the channel? This organization is now adding this capability to their deck. What does that mean to the channel? So open book conversation, 30-minute podcast. It's called the Incident Report. So if you want to do that, hop on that as well. It's all within the partner portal. So Gary, anything else you want to cover for the team while we got everybody on here around, partner portal and services, things like that?
Yeah, thank you, and that's great. And again, a lot of this content's up in the TSB back office also. So Avant's got Pathfinder, Telarus has their back office. All the different partners have the different content there. So lots of resources there to be able to help. Again, preference on our side is just pick up the phone, call us. Is probably the quickest way. You don't have to noodle through things for sure. I think, on this slide, Adam, I just want to bring this up again. People always say, well, hey, where are you guys winning? Right. So there are literally hundreds of suppliers in the TSB portfolio. So great news. You've got all the suppliers, but it can also be very, very confusing. Where we're getting the most of our opportunities and differentiating, I think we covered them a little bit here, our largest opportunities are coming by far in the integrated services that, encompass the multiple pillars from a customer needs up there. It's acts as a service, I guess you'd call it. So it can include product, it can include professional services, it can include, patch management, feet on the street to be able to get deployed, global deployments. As you start to bundle those things together and consolidate under a single contract, those are very, very lucrative and large and sticky opportunities. And we're very happy to embrace, if you're working with other suppliers, it doesn't have to be, hey, Quest owns everything. I can certainly acquire things and be the customer of record and kind of embrace the conversation that you have going on. It's a huge differentiator for us on that. So that's really, probably our biggest opportunities. Those are the monthly recurring charges. Interestingly, some of our other larger opportunities, I know we hear about monthly recurring charges all the time, but when you talk about professional services and the one-time billing or one-time revenue, as the OTR is listed here, these can be large monthly transactions that are one-time each. So there's just fewer suppliers in the application development space. Just people don't know that you have access to that. That is generally where a company recognizes their revenues, how they interface with their customers. It's a huge investment for companies to work with their applications, and people just don't know that's available to them. And it's one of our larger pillars from the application development. I say one-time revenue. We have some of these that are The one that's listed here, this is the 36 months into this one, Adam. So one time, 36 times, and it's getting pretty big on that side. So it acts like a monthly recurring charge. Physical infrastructure is another one that it's a one-time kind of project-based kind of an activity based upon the project size and whatnot. There's fewer suppliers in the portfolio that hold that outside plant for last mile, aerial work, underground work, telecom services, pretty large stuff on that side into the data center. Again, all your AV systems, access control, very, very large division of ours. We're getting a lot of opportunities in the physical infrastructure, and probably our largest one there is that technical on-call support and the staffing. This is where, from our chair, we see people struggling the most. There are, like I said, tons of great solutions in the supplier portfolios. People purchase those and they struggle when they get on site, integrating them, implementing them, the operations, the support questions. It's just very, very complicated. We do have a technical on-call support prepaid retainer that provides access to our entire portfolio of resources remotely. We can dispatch on site. We have emergency services, security incident response, first responder. Again, that services piece is how you can really get into an account to complement what you're doing right now. It's just asking that question. And they start as small as $5,000 for that service agreement. It's an easy entry, and it grows out constantly from there. So just wanted to touch on where we're winning. Adam, next page here. I think we just talked about some of the one-time, I'm sorry, that's not in there. Yes, so let's get through this. Hot topics, Adam, back to you. One of the hot topics we wanted to put in that we see customers struggling with or questioning about right now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure if that one went out of order, Gary, but yeah, great point on the one-time revenue. One-time revenue, just back to Gary's point, for professional services, we'll just call it out. The TSBs, they like to book upfront revenue to get you guys your bookings credit, and we 100% realize that. One-time revenue can continue to happen month over month. So while it might be like a $5,000 initial professional services engagement, that can grow over every month and every month and every month. It continues. They continue to use that engineer. They continue to use that resource. So it might not hit the top line initial bookings revenue for you. We're working with the TSBs to report that and make sure you guys are getting credit on the front end for that, while at the same time getting paid the residual on the one-time revenue that just happens to keep billing for 5 years. We have one partner who we've been paying for the last 10 years on a professional services contract that is classified technically as one-time revenue. He's been getting paid out on it for 10 years. So just to highlight that with you, we know we want to get the big, everyone, I love contracts. I love 5-year, 10-year contracts, $100 million deals. Who doesn't? Let's get those booked. Let's get those huge numbers out there on the front end. That's fantastic. But, the professional services, staffing, all that kind of stuff is fantastic for ongoing revenue as well. And that's good stuff. So one of the hot topics we're seeing in the market right now, we've been dealing with it with our we're a VM, we use VMware in our environment. We've been a desktop as a service partner for 12 years. So we know VMware very, very well. They just reopened this week. Their ability to quote. So Broadcom, it's no secret out there, acquired them, stripped the portal and the quoting capabilities, totally changed the game. Quest is one of the service provider partners and resellers who can continue to service VMware. They basically cut off all of their lower tier partners who didn't have over, I believe, I think it was like $1.5 million in revenue, in sales revenue. So really disrupted the channel. They shut down their back office. Imagine this. They shut down their back office and just said, hey, by the way, guys, we're not quoting anything for about a month. So for the month of May and into June, there were no quotes coming out of VMware or Broadcom. Zero. No one even knew how to get pricing. This is not a secret. That's open and everyone knows it. They reopened this month, about 3 days ago. So on Saturday, Sunday, we started seeing quotes that we had been requesting for about a month come out, for our customers, for our partners. We're helping organizations understand what this new subscription model means, what this new whole perpetual license and no longer perpetual license or support means. So, to Gary's earlier point, you don't have to be an expert on this. You don't have to know all the ins and outs or all the shenanigans Broadcom's playing to get their stock price to go very, very high. God bless them. They're running their playbook. But your customers are going to struggle with this and they're going to get impacted. We've seen anywhere from 25 to 200% increases on the way people were typically subscribing to their licenses in the past. So huge impact. VMware is everywhere in our client base and in your client base. It's prolific in the middle market and the enterprise and SMB, and it's huge. So it's a very key aspect of the technology stack and how people are consuming, managing, and backing up and supporting their environments. So every single one of your customers, if you want to just start a dialogue with them, ask the question, how are you guys doing with the Broadcom takeover of VMware? Do you need any help with that? You have a partner at Quest who's been in this world for 25 years. We understand the ins and outs of VMware. We understand the impacts. We're dealing with them ourselves. So Gary, Brian, people who from Quest who are on this call right now, they are on a VMware virtual desktop logging into this session right now, right? So we've built a lot of our infrastructure on these different aspects. And oh, by the way, VMware just sold off that end user compute division, right? So we're in the soup with your customers and we're dealing with this. And if you need help with it, there's a lot of opportunity to either stay on the boat with Broadcom and make money by selling them the more expensive licensing, migrating them to an alternative. Maybe they're ready to move to a cloud instance, or maybe they're ready to move to a hosted instance. Great catalyst conversation. People are much more willing to have conversations when they're in pain. So we're gonna be putting together a open forum discussion for this, where we're gonna have any partners that want to learn more about it hop on. Our CTO Mike Dillon will be hosting that with you and kind of going through what we're seeing. So that'll be coming out. You'll be seeing it from our Quick Quest updates and our marketing team blasting that out as far as a date. So really looking forward to have that conversation. If you have any questions about it or you want to talk about VMware, please please let us know. It's definitely a hot topic. We're probably in conversations daily about this. Gary, anything else you want to add there? I think VMware heard me talking trash and cut Gary off. So, okay.
Sorry. No, I was going to say I think the key, you said it, Adam, was to have a conversation and be really careful not to get trapped in providing answers or solutions when customers have those things. As Adam mentioned, our experience and longevity and our breadth of services and things that it touches really can impact and change direction based upon unique situations. So our move is to, not just throw out an answer for technical support. It's really, hey, let's get on a 30, 45-minute phone call with some experts that really understand their situation and their options, their budget, their environment, these different pieces that can really open some doors there. So you don't need to do that yourself. Definitely one that you want to do. So we'll have an educational session like Adam shared up there, just to answer any questions for interested parties. But again, the move is to get them into a conversation with someone, right? So whether it's Quest or others in the portfolio there, that's where we're really seeing the opportunity.
Yep, absolutely. So along those lines, we were talking about professional services and ongoing engagements. These resources are available to you: staff aug, on-call support, business resiliency consulting, cloud migrations. there are tons of areas where clients are struggling, and we're seeing, continued engagement for these one-time and ongoing, engagements around migration services. What's happening with VMware? Do you need a resource? Do you need someone to help you guide you through that process? A lot of organizations are coming up on those refresh cycles. We're seeing a huge refresh cycle in the desktop and the server space right now. So people need help understanding what's next. And if you got any questions on that, again, hop on a call with us. We'll get the appropriate technical resources engaged to help you scope that. You don't have to be the expert in it. We want to back you up and get you the right resources where you need them. A lot of our monthly recurring engagements are different. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but we can bundle any service needed. We can deliver any location globally, and we're not necessarily like blocked to support patching or endpoint security or managed firewall services just because they've decided to subscribe to a certain brand. I get these questions all the time from partners. Hey, do you support this? Do you support this? Do you sell this? The answer is almost always yes, because we have an internal application development process and team that creates a monitor of monitors, which is just a fancy way of saying, I don't care what the technology is at the edge. It doesn't matter. It's software and it generates logs. If it's software and it generates logged events, our monitoring platform can see it and can correlate an event and make a decision and help a client with a solution. So when clients ask, hey, this person bought Fortinet, can you help them? This person bought Palo Alto, can you help them? This person bought Cisco, can you help them? Yeah, the answer is yes, because we can ingest all those alerts. So Quest is very different in the standpoint of we're not worried about scaling to manage 500,000 firewalls of a certain brand. That's not our model. We built a company to help execute on what the customers have decided to do. So it's a different model. And so when you get comfortable with that, you can really do a lot of cool things, or bring us in and we can help have that conversation. But we built an execution engine. We did not build an engine to go support a specific requirement. So when you think about Quest, know that Quest is built on the idea of executing on what the client, hey buddy, on what the client is trying to do. So I appreciate that. Yeah. So one example of a good way to get involved in a quick hit for a customer, we're seeing a lot of success with this, is our cybersecurity checkups. So what's working? Cybersecurity checkups are working for initial engagements. There are 7 areas where we see organizations get in trouble from a security standpoint. Email, patching, endpoints. Are their backups validated? How are their remote users connecting? Where can their users go online from a DNS standpoint? So where can they go? And then are their firewalls up to date? Right? So these 7 areas are what we like to put checkups in place for. You got to get an engineer on there to check out their email security policies, right? I don't care if it's Proofpoint, don't care if it's Mimecast, don't care if it's Microsoft, don't care if it's, Zeta server from 2006. It doesn't matter. Their email security flow is based on policies and rules. So what we do is we create a checkup around that email security flow, right? It's $750 for an engineer to sit online with them, review their email security flow, and in 2 to 3 days, we provide an executive summary back to them with how can they improve, regardless of the technology they have, how can they improve their email security flow? What can they do to tighten down their security on what they have right now? Same with patching. Don't care if they're Intune Shop or Avanti or Legacy LANDesk, or they got the new Ninja One hotness or Tanium. Don't care. What we want to know is how are they patching and how far behind are they on their patching cycle, and how can they improve that? What can they automate? What operating systems can they improve upon? That's where we want to help them. So it's super simple. It's $775 for one, $2,100 for three, and $4,500 for us to do a simple checkup on all 7 of these aspects of their technology stack. And we evangelize this all the time. This is where people get hit. We see it. We're dealing with an IR right now that a partner brought to us, that they didn't take advantage of this. They didn't improve their security after we made recommendations, and they've spent over about $2 million in rebuilding their environment. So $775 versus $2 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
maybe I can just chime in here as well. So I think that what I've been sharing that I think is helpful, at least in my mind, is I go into a customer and account. I assume they have backups. They have email security. They have VPN. When you're going to those customers asking if they have those things, I just go in assuming that they do. And the next question is, hey, do you know it's working? Right? Or have you checked the details? That is where people really, really get in trouble. When we see the incident response, they have spent a lot of money on stuff. Whether it's through you or someone else before you, they already have most of these things here. It's just very likely, almost always, something comes out of these reviews that there's a misconfiguration. Somebody new in the company. There's a lost file or whatnot. These are the areas that are. It's a low cost of entry, and it's a super huge opportunity to add value to the customer. You don't have to go in and sell them the big deal to make a big impact at the operational level. And this is your foot in the door.
Absolutely. Great point. Yeah, that everyone has this, but maybe they made an update, they made a change, things happen. This is a checkup. You're helping them understand where they're at with their current environment and maybe some areas where they could improve. And everybody needs this. Everybody, it's not insulting. It's everybody needs a third party every once in a while to come in and validate, yep, you're on the right path here, you're doing great, or here's some areas you might want to tighten up a little bit. So, and very low barrier to entry for some great output. So, so I wanted to bring this up, got some great feedback as far as how we get involved with organizations and how things can transition from a relatively small engagement to something significant. And I know we all love to target the big brands, and we all like to say, we go to channel partners and you get the finger point at this person or that person, like, oh, that's the person he's got a buyer at Clorox, or that person over there, yeah, he services enterprise accounts. He works with Coca-Cola. That's great. And we can all go whale hunting together if we want. But there are amazing opportunities in the middle market where, maybe the competition isn't as tough as it is in, going after trying to land that enterprise agreement with Coca-Cola. All right. So not disparaging whale hunters, plenty of whale hunters out there. And I'm from California, and there were plenty of people who went to, the Sierra Nevadas to stake their claim for gold. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. I'm a much bigger fan of helping organizations in the middle market that need help and are looking for help. So this is an example of a 200 user environment where we came in and initially helped them support and manage their firewalls. It was a great contract, right? We landed the first deal. It was an $8,000 a month firewall support contract. They had a bunch of sites. They needed help with supporting their firewalls. We were brought in by a partner, and we helped them support their firewalls. But as they got to know Quest, and as the partner kind of brought us in and did a capability review with them during the onboarding, right? So they met us as a firewall organization. So of course we fall into the bucket of their brain. That's my firewall team. Well, we did We did some capability exposure to them, right? We had them sit through a session where we talked about all the different things we could do. And sure enough, over the course of the next, 20, 25 months, they started reaching out for additional help. They needed help desk services. They lost their internal help desk people. They moved on. So they asked, hey, Quest, can you guys help support our technical users? Right? So month 3, we added help desk services, right? So we grew that initial $8,000. In the first 3 months, we basically doubled it, right? As we got more involved in their end users, we started seeing some of their security situations and started talking about that. So by month 6, we were brought in to help with endpoint security. You can call it MDR, XDR, with SIEM and an IR retainer, right? So that was a significant deal. We went from $15,000 to $26,000 a month. Part of that was based on a security situation that had happened. And one of the things that they learned is having good backups is very, very important. So by month 8, this senior care living facility of about 200 users realized, hey, it'd probably be good if we had a third party that under contract was managing our backups, right? Their internal IT guys, one of them didn't quite manage the job that well and failed to execute on the backup job, and that was pretty critical during the security event. They decided let's put that under contract with somebody. So they added about $3,000 up to their MRR. So as you see, it kind of keeps going. It continues to evolve. It continues to grow. Eventually we landed a pretty big integrated services deal, right? Gary and I talked about, hey, where does Quest, do the most damage in the channel? It's when you kind of consolidate a lot of different things, but it took us 28 months to get to that $24K a month, bundled support offering that stacked up and basically became almost about $1 million a year in managed services and support. And oh, by the way, during that entire time, all of the non-recurring charges and professional services and purchases that they made were all commissionable to that partner as well. So this is a $32 million company, right? They do about $32 million a year. They grew to about $40 million as of 2024. But when we met them, they were a $32 million company and they had 200 users. So I know everyone wants to go hit the big, massive, enterprise accounts. But from a managed services standpoint, there are 10,000 companies in the United States, 10,000 that meet this demographic right here. Huge opportunity in the middle market for managed services. So cannot stress enough, there are firms out there in the 200 user space, couple hundred users, 20 to 50 million in revenue that spend significant amount of money on their IT services, and huge opportunity. So this is what's out there as far as going to get into some of our spiffs here in a minute, and you'll see why. Maybe we're spiffing this, right? It's pretty transparent. But this is why. This is why it's a huge opportunity for you and a huge opportunity for us, and we really want to, incentivize that. So we have a Champions Club. We have a program that we're putting out there. If you've already received one of these, thank you very much for working with us. But we have a promotion going on right now where it's $500 for a new logo or 1 times MRR for that first deal, right? So if it's $5,000 a month, monthly recurring charge, we're paying you $5,000 on a Quest reloadable MasterCard, Master debit card, right? So this is sent directly to you as the partner record. It's either going to come whenever you get a new logo, it's going to be $500 or 1 times MRR. And then we're also upping that with a 2 times MRR spiff if you cross sell into that account. So for example, this partner, right? They got basically month 0 firewall support for the spiff, $8,000 in addition to their arrangement with their TSB for their residual income. So they're $8,000 up front, plus their existing residual income for the whole contract term. They then sold a help desk service into that account as a cross sell, right? And they're getting 2x MRR on that, right? So huge opportunity out there to grow your accounts with Quest. We see this as one of our biggest market opportunities. This is where we're really ramping the program up. And I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is a great program. These debit cards are fantastic. We reload them, go straight to your bank account. Straight to the debit card that you can use at your choosing. The other one that's really important, and I think is, we want to incentivize you because it takes time out of your day and it takes time out of your customer's day, is $250 for a Quest capability review or business technology review with your end users. And we'll send you content on this as well. So $250 directly onto your reloadable Quest debit card. Anytime you get us in front of your customer and we do a business capability and technology review with them. So this is in addition to everything that you get from your TSP, right? So this is an additional incentive that's directly for our partners who are, bringing us into new logos and also helping us grow within that account. So I don't know, Gary, or anything else you want to clarify on that announcement? I know it's a great program. I'm really excited about it. It's effective through the end of the year. So we got a whole other half of the year to go here.
I had nothing to add. It's been working really well. Just an awareness. We are doing this after the fact as well, so it's not like a lot of partners don't know that this is even out there. Instead of trying to, get everybody to make a move and on the shiny object up there, this is going to be provided to you on the spiffs for the new logos coming in. So we're excited to be able to have that together. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, Gary. So Gary and I, just to let you guys know, Gary and I are going through our closed opportunities every month, and we're sending these out. I'd say about 60% of the partners have received them so far, have asked, "Hey, what's this for?" And we're like, "Well, you qualify for the program." So I know a lot of people kind of throw out spiffs and then tell you the 10 reasons why they can't pay you. We're going through our award opportunities and actively sending these out, and we really appreciate everything our partners are doing for us. So thank you. Yeah. Gary, you want to kind of go through the default on process in lieu of that secondary buy at the Apple thought?
Sure. So this is speaking of the commissions on that point. I hear sometimes how much is my commission for whatever this transaction is, and hey, someone else is doing the same thing, they pay a little bit more. There's a lot of focus on those percentages there that don't really take into account the opportunity on the backside. So one of our large advantages we've seen here today, we do have a pretty broad portfolio. We are default on, we get into whatever the conversation is. Hey, is there anything else we can help with? So our delivery team, whether we win an opportunity, whether it's closed lost, we do keep in touch and nurture that account. It is tagged to you as the partner of record who brought us that opportunity. And should something bubble up out of that, we will get you on the original transaction, any growth that comes out of that. It's a significant portion of the commissions that we pay out to the TSPs right now are opportunities on the other side of our initial engagement. So we got involved, like Adam shared, maybe it was the $8,000 firewall thing, and we're asking, and we keep getting that side. Those are oftentimes Quest generated opportunities, and it's a very large portion of what we pay out. We do make sure that our activities are welcome from the partner. Not every partner is wants us talking to everybody about everything. It's an easy on-off switch on our side. Most customers or partners are happy that we're helping grow that business, whether their engagement is there or not. That's a pretty large area that we have. So again, great opportunity. We do communicate on the monthly Quick Quest updates of the emails that we're sending to your customers. I didn't post it here, but generally there's 6 to 8 a month. You can kind of see the topics that we're covering on at any given time up there. They're a sentence or 2 or 3 at the most. It's pretty light touch. And again, we're happy to share that with you. It's content that you can use. They're real easy questions. Asking if somebody has interest in having a conversation. So great opportunity and a big value add to the overall compensation. Okay.
I know we're coming up
And can,
on, yeah, we're coming up on about 10 minutes left. So I didn't know if we want to jump into any Q&A or questions or kind of go through any of these engagement challenges or anything like that, or
yeah, Adam, I did see a question from somebody about the graphics available in content. So yes, we will send out a thank you for attending along with a copy of this deck that you're welcome to have. It'll be up on the website if you'd like to have that. Or again, there's complimentary content to all these things here. We can get into co-branding and whatnot. So if there are things and help that we can do to help complement your efforts, happy to engage there. And let me, Adam, maybe just pop back up. So the questions that came back in, client needs on-site support. Can Quest do that nationally? The answer is yes. We actually do that globally. That's a very large business. You can either call in ad hoc or we do have a ticketing system that will allow us to get resources. It's a four-hour minimum on site, but we can get that out pretty much globally in that regard there. Again, that's really where customers need help a lot of times, is on that kind of ad hoc support. Best way for justify a retainer. Yeah, I think the retainer thought, again, just focus on that. If they need help, $5,000, your mileage will vary on what's there. If it comes out to maybe 2 or 3 hours a month of support, if the customer has that kind of need for phone calls, that's a pretty good justification. They're not going to try and push something on them, but that can go pretty quickly. We do support cybersecurity, awareness training. Yeah, we do there's some great content there. We've got a big services catalog. We got the videos, we have the data sheets, happy to get those out. Again, talk to Adam, Brian, or I. We're happy to get that content out if you can't find it, or definitely happy to get into a conversation that leads to lots of other opportunities. Okay, cool. Anything else? Just everybody's on mute here. You can just take yourself off mute if you want to pop a question out. Happy to field anything on the fly. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, if there aren't any questions, if there are some and you want to hop in, please do. These are some of the events we're going to be at from a partner support standpoint coming up. So July 11th in Denver at the Amped Solo Security event. July 16th will also be in Denver at a couple day Ascend event if you're attending that one. And then Partner Summit, the Telarus Partner Summit will be there August 6th through 8th in Nashville. Avant Special Forces in the Phoenix area, and then yeah, a couple other, and then we got the Channel Connect event back in Nashville in November. So another thing we want to make sure you're aware of that you have available is we do have some executive briefings at our headquarters. Yourself, your customer, if they want to come out, do due diligence, happy to fly you and your client out to our headquarters to conduct an executive briefing, meet the team, see the headquarters facility, the network operations, the data center. It really does help build confidence, with your customers. Or if you'd like to come out for an executive meeting, love to bring you out as well, just to get to know the team more. So, contact myself, Gary, Brian, anyone on the partner team that you'd like to work with to help coordinate that. That's a key initiative we have available to our partners as well. And again, appreciate it.
And we're happy, I think, to come out to visit you guys also. If you never, we're actively investing in partners and partner events. If you have customer events, you need executive presentations, you need technical content, those kind of things, please reach out to the partner team. And we're, those are outstanding and productive events for us. So we're interested in hearing what's going on at your level as well.
Absolutely. Yep. And then, like Gary said, we'll be sharing this with you guys directly as far as how to engage. I think pretty sure everyone on here knows how to engage, but just in case you don't, you got partners@questsys.com. That'll hit our entire team. You got the website. You got the portal link as well. Very simple opportunity registration. quick description of what you're trying to do, what your customer's trying to do, and then we'll get the appropriate resources engaged. Once we kind of do a quick background review and kind of mutually qualify the opportunity together. And then, yeah, we have, again, if you ever want an overview, a capability review, or general questions, those are available partners at questsys.com. The one thing we always like to say when we're working with folks, in the event of an emergency, it doesn't have to be only a cybersecurity related emergency. It could be a backhoe, cut a fiber line, a site's down hard, an organization tried to patch something and they messed up their routers or their switches or firewalls, or they're in trouble, or their licensing expired. Whatever it is, if it's an emergency and you need emergency support, or your customer needs emergency support, ir@questsys.com. We had one IR come in where a managed service provider went out of business. They didn't pay the licensing subscription for a client's FortiGate firewalls, and they shut off at the end of the month, and they needed help for an emergency basis because they were basically cut off from the internet because their licensing expired and no one told them. So we got engaged, helped them square that away. The vendor was very accommodative to get that squared away. They just, things happen, emergencies happen. If you need emergency support, ir@questsys.com. Doesn't have to be a security event. Oftentimes it is, but it doesn't have to be. So then again, this will be included in the deck. This is our partner support team, our management team, as well as some of our technical pre-sales engineers that are dedicated and support our channel partners as well. So we're going to be at some of those events coming up. Would love to meet you in person. We'll also be coming hopefully to your neck of the woods. And if you ever want us to come out and do a training or a engagement or sit down and have a coffee, love to do that as well. So I think that's it for the session today. Gary, any closing remarks?
I do not. Thank you very, very much. We are grateful for your attendance and very much looking forward to reconnecting when it's timely. So give us a shout. Wishing everyone a great day. And thank you, Adam. Great job. Appreciate your running through that content there. Appreciate it, everyone.
Thanks all. Have a great day. Thank you.